Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Lynn Life. Now, I promised a little while back that I would start working on the model railroad again, and that time has come. And there's a project that I picked out, and today the planning begins. So let's get going. My name is Jonathan, and I'm a caregiver for my wife Lynn, who has a permanent brain injury. Things are a bit different now, but we're doing the best that we can. Join us as we experience the Lynn Life. Well, this project's going to take a little while to build, and it actually involves a couple things that I'm going to be going over, and it's a section over here on the other side of the station that you've never really seen much before. So, because it's unfinished, and I decided that's a pocket area over here that needs to be completed. And it's going to involve a couple things. There's one little structure that my father built that I'm going to finish and detail, and it involves another one that hasn't been built yet at all. So I'm going to have to start planning it. We're going to go over that, and I'm going to show you how that's done. And then several weeks from now, I'll do another video and show you the progress, and then a couple weeks after that, maybe show you another one, show you more of the progress until it's complete. So, let's get started. It involves an area, this area right over here. There's this, which is actually a cab company. I'm probably going to remove this completely and put it in another area. And then there's this, which is Pop's Hot Dogs. This was a building my father made, and there's a complete interior in it. And I want to finish this up a little bit and detail it a little bit more, put a lot more people. I want to put some lighting in it. That's going to end up being over here. And then this area, I'm going to put something completely new. And it's actually going to be a building under construction. And there'll be some girders, and there'll be a crane and a bulldozer and all kinds of things going on over there. And it should be pretty interesting. I got a few models put together that I want to use for that construction site. One is, well, I needed a crane and a few things, and this is all stuff that I've picked up years ago. This is the most recent, but something like this is an old, a lifelike, inexpensive construction site. Actually, there's a little dump truck, which is a little bit too modern for my railroad, but I liked this crane, and I'm going to have to detail it up a lot, make it look more realistic, and rust it up maybe a little bit. These people I can use, I'll repaint them a little bit and detail it. There's a little generator here, which is fine, and this is pretty good. And I've even considered, and I've talked to my son about it, a possibility of animating this crane, have it move a little bit. Then here's a bulldozer. I bought this not too long ago. Was it last year even? Maybe a year before? This is very, very detailed. And it's a 1940s bulldozer, and I definitely want this on the site. Now, the other thing that I bought many years ago was this Walthers skyscraper construction site, and with the intention of building something like I'm going to be doing here. And I've had this for probably over 10 years, and I've known I had it, and I have a lot of kits that I've been saving, and with the intention to use eventually. And finally, this thing is going to be used. So, and I will modify it. I never take a kit and build it exactly as it's, as it originally was designed for. I end up modifying it, and that's what I'll be doing in this case as well. Now, within the project, there are a whole lot of mini projects that have to be completed. So Not sure which one I'm going to do first, but I got to start planning the whole thing out. So here's the area again that we're going to be working on, and in addition to buildings and vehicles and things like that that may be involved, there's landscaping. We got to do a lot of landscaping that has not been completed yet, and that's including the area behind where the building's going to be going and things like that. So that means when I say landscaping, I mean it needs to be, I use a plaster substance to kind of smooth out areas, just like you would do in real life with dirt, but I'm doing it with plaster and things to kind of smooth things out. And once that's all done, then I can apply other landscaping material like real dirt that I've sifted and then I actually glue down. And then there's the grass, which I use a variety of different products for that. You'll get to see how I use that. I like to use this static grass. It actually makes it stand up. But we'll get into that when that comes around. And then there's all little vehicles, like building this little bulldozer that's very, very detailed, and that's all going to be done on my workbench. The most of the work, like even the building under construction, will be done on the workbench first, and then put into the scene later. So, but you have to measure, and I have to adapt this kit to fit in that space. So that's why I take a sort of aerial view of the site, and as you can see, I put a ruler in there so I can get an actual idea of you know, the scale and how much area I have to work with. And from that, I'll actually sketch out an area on my computer where it's going to go, because I know the dimensions of the kit, the Walthers kit of the construction site, and I can kind of modify that and make it and design it to fit in right in that space exactly the way I want it. Now, a little history here and a little background on the model railroad. I've probably have said this before in other videos, but I'm going to say it again. My model railroad is takes place in the early 40s during World War II. Okay, that's the time period that I'm modeling, and I'm a real stickler about that. So, stickler about the time period, real stickler about scale. So things like this crane has to be period, and I've already done my research, and that appears to be more or less a period crane that would have been used in the early 40s, as well as this bulldozer, which actually says it's a 1940s. It's a D8 8R dozer, so that is already period. So that's important. And it's actually the actual building that supposedly is being built is it's a Railway Express Agency building, and I have Railway Express Agency cars lined up alongside the station, and it's at the time, or right now, it's utilizing the freight area underneath the station, and it needs to expand. And if you don't know what the Railway Express Agency is, it's sort of what UPS and FedEx is today. Okay, but back then, if you ordered something, it would come by rail. It would go to the Railway Express Agency's warehouse and get put on a truck and then delivered to your home. And it no longer exists today, but it did back in 1942. So This construction site, though, will never be completed. They will never actually have their new building because this is a little snapshot in time. And at this time, it was under construction, and it never progresses. So, that's what I'm going to be building, and that's the whole idea. Now, the railroad itself started a long time ago, and at least a section of it, and it was built by my father. And that's why there's a Pop's hot dog building there that was built by him. It was in another location, and I want to finish that. My son and his cousins all called my father Pop. So when he built that hot dog stand, he called it Pop's Hot Dogs. So I just want to finish that up a little bit, and it's got to be landscaped around it. It needs a parking lot. It needs lots of people and cars and lighting in it. And when it's all done, it'll be awesome. So I want you to see this process that I do and what it looked like originally and what it ends up looking like later. And I think what I'll do is any future videos, I will put the link of the previous video in the description, if that helps you, so that maybe you can continue to if you missed some of them, you could go back and watch it, so you can watch the whole series. I've never really done a whole series in building anything before, so I thought maybe that would be interesting, because this is my model railroad season right now. It starts after the holidays and extends into the springtime, and then once the weather gets better, I suddenly don't have as much time to devote to it. I can work on it, and every year I say I'm going to, and in most cases I do not. I just get busy. Even though I'm retired, there's only so much time because I still freelance and do stuff like that. So I find myself without time. Oh, by the way, if you watched last week's video about my upgrading and buying a new computer for editing and things like that, the computer has been ordered. I've already bought it. I haven't received anything yet. In fact, today I may receive part of it. I may receive the keyboard and the mouse. That's it. Everything's coming separately because the computer is customized. I order things, or I designed it for what I need, and that takes a little bit. It takes 2-3 weeks before I will actually get it. I'll get the monitor ahead of time. But I've been doing some work on the computer I have here now and getting ready to transfer stuff. But back to this project. So let's go over the actual design and measure things out and figure where things are going to be going. Okay, now I've taken and I've brought this picture into Adobe Photoshop, and you can see the red square. Using this ruler here, I was able to measure, and this is exactly the size of the new building will be. The girders, the raw skeleton of the building, that will be this size, and this is where it will fit. So it won't affect this track here. It does affect these two tracks. I have to shorten them up just a little, have them stop like right here. But the plan was originally that once this building was completed, which it will never be, this track would be extended over here. So this gives me an excuse to use that bulldozer, and I'll have the bulldozer over here grading the area that this track will eventually be extended to, right? And then just beyond that, I'll need some sort of a construction fence or something that will go along here and extend up to here. It'll stop about here. This road here, this will be the entrance to the construction site. So That's how that'll work. Now this is the cover of the box of the model for the construction site, and I was talking about the construction fence. Well, it actually has one that comes with it. Is actually one that would actually have a cover to protect pedestrians. I'm not sure if I'll use all that, but I might use a section of that as for my construction fence. We'll see how that works. You can see the girders. I may not have all of them put up, only a section, and of course they'll need that one a piece of girder suspending from the or hanging from the crane. That'll be over there. So, and I'll have some people up on these girders and things like that. It'll be a fun detail on the model railroad. I just had Justin in here. I went over the plans with him to get his approval because he's very much a part of this, and especially if it affects any of the original railroad that my father made. He's very protective of that, and I like that he's protective of that. But this only affects my father's original railroad by about 2-3 inches, and it will require 2 sidings, or track and 2 sidings, to be shortened by about 2 inches. And so he has given his okay. He's told me it is board approved. So we can proceed. We can proceed with our plans. We're allowed to do that. So and just before shooting this little segment here, I was interrupted. I had to go downstairs to sign. I had a delivery from UPS and I had to sign for it. And guess what it is? It is parts of my computer that I was talking about last week. Parts have come in. It's my Magic Mouse for that computer and the Magic Keyboard with Touch ID. Got a new keyboard for that, and the monitor has shown up. I haven't brought that up here yet. The monitor is here, so we're just waiting for the computer itself, which will be at least 2 weeks, because that I ordered some custom stuff on that. It's not it's not stock. I've added things to it, so I'm excited. A lot of exciting things going on. We're going to make changes, add some additions to the model railroad, a new building under construction. We're going to finish Pop's Hot Dogs, do all the landscaping in that area, and finish that little section of the model railroad so it could be photographed. There's other things will go in, all the grass and trees, bushes, people, cars, all that has to go in to finish that scene. And you've never seen that done before. I've never done a series where I can show the progression of a scene. And that's what we're going to do here. So be looking for the next update as I think I've got, every time I feel like I've gotten enough done to warrant another video, I will do so, and I'll show you how it's coming along. All right, and I think that's it, and we'll see you next time on the Linn Life.